It's on you, boy.
And welcome back for an all-new episode of Atlanta United FC Weekly, Week 7. It's 4:20. We got DJ Herb on the ones and twos, dropping dope beats and fat rhymes. We got DJ Diggity Dan from across the pond, bringing Marmite and toast for everybody.
Hello, fellas.
Hello, Governor.
Shiny shoes for you.
Dear God, I think they got pretty loud in everybody's ears. Thanks to you for joining us live. For those of you joining us live on the YouTube stream, thank you. I am Tim, as Kevin alluded to. DJ Herb dropping the fat rhymes. As always, joined by my lovely co-host of 4 years, Kevin Bradley, hetero life partner of 15 years, and then our permanent third, right?
Threesome.
Yeah, the man who makes it three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Diggity Dan.
The middle prong to our fork.
He completes the H.
Without him, it's a lowercase h
or the A, because we got to meet in the middle at the top.
Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. Anyway, Atlanta United FC Weekly, week number 7, as Kevin said. Man, I'm feeling down.
Yeah, I know. You're fucking bumming me out.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I honestly, I think Saturday.
Goddamn bullshit is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I think Saturday put me in a pretty sour mood. I think multiple reasons. First of all, for those of you who are watching, I'm a huge Pacers fan, and watching that game, that was majorly disappointing. But then also, as this show is aptly named, we had the Atlanta United FC, the Five Stripes, going up in Montreal, playing against Impact
in the bag while it's going on. It wasn't until as late as you can possibly lose a game to lose it, and in the fashion, like for Atlanta to hold up for 45 minutes, a man down the way that they did. Can stepping up big time. I don't know that roster change is a guaranteed anymore.
No, it's definitely
you
not.
need to sit Goose down. You need to sit his ass on the bench.
It's Can's job to lose it.
It's crazy
after
right?
that game specifically. Like
so let's stick to positivity, right? So in the first few weeks, we were very
way
critical.
More positive out of that game than negative.
Yeah,
I got a positive. Hardly any games have 3 to 4 minutes of extra time in the first half.
Yeah, what is that, right? Because I don't remember any injuries in the first half.
Yeah, no. Well, Almiron went down because he was down with what we thought was a concussion. He was down, but it wasn't that long.
Which time was when he hacked down? Was that when he was hacked down by Bernadello, or was that when he was wrestled down by Aduro?
I think it was the first time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He looked upset. He looked really hurt.
He should be.
Well, okay. If we want to get into it, I've got a couple of instances where there should have been red cards on Montreal.
Oh,
that was one of them.
Oh, absolutely. As he's going down and grabs him by the collar.
There was no play for the ball. He took both studs and raked him on the back of Almiron's calves. And plus, if Almiron had not been tackled, he'd have been away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not good though. We're sticking with positive.
Positives, Dan, not sarcastically speaking.
Seriously. I'm British. What? I can't help it.
Yeah.
So give me cynicism or give me death.
Yeah. So we've been very critical of Alec Can the first couple weeks of the season.
Like every week it gets less so. And now it's just I think weekend and week
honestly,
out.
Yeah.
Probably get a red card next game.
Yeah, it started with Minnesota. Yeah, I think that's a prediction game we're going to play later. Who's the next red card?
But because it's a guaranteed at this point that Atlanta's going to get one.
Because we've had an attacker, midfielder, and a defender in center.
It's Gressel. He's due.
Yeah. So Alec Can, fantastic. I think that he is playing a lot faster. He is. I don't think that we've ever questioned his shot stopping ability. Right.
No.
I think that he's just had some decision making
and some hesitancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearing the box,
and he's just improving every week. Yep. I think it's fantastic. Another person that I can't speak highly enough of is in the way that he's come in and just done an absolutely thankless job is Jeff Lorenowitz.
Oh,
yes.
I think that he was outstanding yet again.
Yep.
Just that holding midfielder role.
Oh, God. That header that he almost put in far bar.
When he was like 6 feet away from anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Just
okay. So that definitely was.
Sorry, Tim.
That definitely was a low light of his game. But he's not somebody who scores goals.
No.
So
you're right.
Kenwyne Jones looked pretty good.
I was so excited because that was what I initially said last week. Put Villalba on the wing.
So you were excited because you were right.
Well, that's the only reason why I get excited. You know that. But halfway through, I was like, I don't think I'm feeling this setup at all. I mean, yes, he scores a great goal, but playing strengths against that team, I just don't know that was the right decision.
He destroys our breaks.
Yes.
When Villalba was racing down the wing, he had to stop for literally for 3 seconds, and the chance was gone.
Yes, exactly.
So it kind of feeds back in.
Completely contradictory.
I'm excited he scored a goal.
Absolutely, and
he broke the duck. Yeah. But it does kind of feed into what Dan and I were talking about last week, where he is more of a change of pace. He is a substitute.
Yes,
at this
completely agree.
Yeah.
So. Who else? Can we take positive? I thought Gressel.
Almiron, obviously.
Almiron. I thought that Gressel had a great comeback game from the criticism that you guys had of him last week. I thought that he was very consistent in this game.
I think there was a little bit. I remember one play, there was some indecision from him that led to a turnover when he was on the 18-yard box, and someone played it. I think it was Villalba played it to him. And then he was going to cross it, but then he thought, oh, maybe not. There was a couple of different guys to play the option to, and the chance went.
Yeah.
Oh,
and Jesus Christ. Sorry to your speakers, guys.
And did you see that he kicked the ball in his face?
Yes.
In his own face.
I did. I was like, what happened? I didn't see it. Then he replayed. I'm like, oh, that's the worst. The only thing worse than that is just when you chip it comes back right in the nuts. Like those are the two worst. Just that straight on the nose and then right to the knob.
Okay. So Tim, positivity. Greg Garza.
Yeah.
He great control. A bunch of great crosses coming in. It seemed like it was pinpoint all the time.
I just want to take a second to validate having you on this show because you are just above and beyond anything we could ever hope for. I'm going to start cheating off your notes.
What does Dan have for the second half?
He's got pages, dude. Look at this. Just pages. He's got X's and O's outlined over here. He's got tick marks where he's tallied things up. Just good God.
Well, I mean, fastly approaching to be my favorite player of this team, Gonzalez-Pirez.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I would have his baby.
So let's talk about the red card.
He's a handsome man, too.
He's a handsome man.
He's a good-looking guy.
And he's got that Errol Flynn gap tooth.
Yeah. But it's almost like a chip snaggle tooth. I can't tell. Is it a chip gap? Is it?
Right.
But you know, it's that I don't know anybody who watches New Girl, but it's the how you.
I'm interested.
No. As a man, how you find another man attractive is would you swap faces with them?
That's right. Right. Yeah.
I would swap faces with Gonzalez-Pirez.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At least the hairline
and tactical ability, obviously.
Well, duh.
Yeah. So
let's talk red card.
Yeah. So let's first of all, great news. Sticking with positivity.
Yes.
We had our appeal accepted. His suspension is overturned.
Yes.
Doesn't
change the score.
Big middle finger to PRO, right? Mm-hmm. To say you.
What's PRO?
PRO is the Professional Referees
Association
or organization or whatever.
It's the people association organization. Association.
I believe they are PR. Yeah, I believe association. I believe they are the organization or the body that is responsible for the referees that are in the MLS.
Okay,
I may be wrong. You guys correct me if I am. But yeah, I think that's an awesome and well-deserved middle finger to the referees because in hindsight, I know Kevin
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, so ball comes into the box.
Yes, I
Odd
was
bounce.
at the time after the call, after the PK is scored. I'm like, I think it's the right call. It's 1-on-1. You're inside the 18, goal scoring opportunity. Hindsight and actually reviewing it after the fact and watching it again, the difference being it's not a goal scoring opportunity because he's not guaranteed to have possession of the ball. Like they're jockeying to gain possession. So there's no clear goal scoring opportunity at that point. Can's coming out. He doesn't have possession. They're both battling for it. I don't agree with the call at all.
Okay, so yes. So there are a couple things, right, that are automatically fouls, right? Whenever there's contact and a defender's not playing the ball.
Right.
Or the defender's playing the man, not playing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Denial of a goal scoring opportunity, obstruction, things of that sort, right? So you're right. And it's an odd bounce into the box. You have a coming together of two players. And I think that it's completely natural there. I think that Gonzalez-Pirez, you can see from replays that he is eyeing the ball the entire time.
Yeah.
And then the other very, very obvious thing is that Mancuso gets a little bit of contact, and then you can see his legs lunge forward to propel himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very much a dive, and maybe not a dive because there was contact.
It was a dive.
It is. I mean, it depends on how you define that. I mean, if it's simulation for sure, right? It's definitely making a meal of something that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's bigger than what it actually
compared
was.
to this. Jermaine Jones got decapitated last week, right? I mean, this is
right. I mean, Parkhurst has done it as well, and Gonzalez-Pirez did it as well. You know, not in the penalty area, obviously, but got a little bit of touch, but used and fell to the floor. And I feel like Perez kind of gave as good as he got in that regard in this game, anyway.
Yeah.
So
what do you think? Do you think it's so? We can all agree. I don't think that's a red card, but do you think they still give the PK?
No, I don't.
Nothing.
No. I think there were more justifiable penalties to be given for other fouls in that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, there are.
Yes, but no, I don't think that is. I think you have a defender playing the ball, and you have two bodies colliding, and nothing. I don't think there's anything.
There's no malice in it. There's no intent to injure or anything.
No, well, the same thing applies. What if the tables are turned and it's Atlanta in that position inside the top of the 18? Almiron's challenging for the ball, goes down.
I grumble, but I don't say that we lost the game because of that, right?
Right.
I don't think that I would be that upset after watching that replay. Honestly, I don't think that I would be that upset if we did not get a penalty out of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I agree with the penalty. Definitely not with the card.
I just don't think it's a foul. I don't think it's a foul outside of the box. I don't think it's a foul inside the box.
Yeah.
So I think that where Alan Kelly was positioned and what he saw and what he had seen throughout the game, and there were tussles between Perez
absolutely.
and Mancuso the whole time. And I think that where he was located and seeing that happened, I can understand how he would make the decision.
Absolutely.
And I will be consistent with my position last week. I prefer a ref making that decision, being confident, and just do it rather than having this indecision.
Okay, but at the same time, you have a line judge or line official who is in direct sight of what I understand. I think you're right. I think that a referee should be able to, the main ref should command a game. I think that he should set the tone and all that. But I think that in that case where
I just don't know. I mean, the thing is, Perez has got to play the ball, which he does. And it's going to be a physical encounter no matter what. And even if he can't not challenge it, I don't know. I mean, I still think it's a penalty. All things considered, the way that played out, like you said,
there's nothing Perez could have done any differently.
No, not at all.
No, it's either he gives. It's a catch-22, right?
It is.
It really is, because perception is reality. You're right, I guess, from where Alan Kelly's standing.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you could see he has direct contact or direct line of.
Pull it up.
He has a direct line of sight to see that Gonzalez-Pirez is looking at the ball. That's the thing to me that kind of sticks out about it, and probably why our appeal was accepted.
It's been a couple days since I've watched it.
There is when you see it from Kelly's position, it looks a lot worse. But there was a clip I saw on Twitter where you were actually seeing it from the opposite position. You'll see it from about the corner flag, and it is hard. It's a total non-call, and you just see how bad Mancuso's dive was, and you see pretty much how little contact there actually was.
So do you agree that it was a penalty?
Okay, so this is where I found out where I'm a massive hypocrite. I actually didn't think Alan Kelly called that bad of a game. He let it flow. It was an aggressive game, and he played advantage 95% of the time. However, when he was in his position, I can understand the call he made. Because I didn't actually see the game live, I DVR'd it. And then when I heard it and I went back and watched it in those couple of seconds in which it happened, I was livid. I was so angry. But then when I saw it in the context of the game,
right,
I was like, okay, I could see how he could call it that way. So
again, I mean, it's one of those things that we talked about last week as well, where it's at the end of the first half, things are getting chippy. Players are playing more and more aggressively. Unfortunately, it's Atlanta on the losing end of sort of setting an example going into the second half. That said, back to the positive, Perez gets the red card, gets appealed. But that second half, playing a man down, I thought Atlanta looked great. I mean, I don't think that there was
awesome.
I agree.
Kudos to Martino, who didn't just shut up shop. He tried to throw another strike on play 2 up front with 10 men.
Yeah.
And we played awesome. And the second goal, you couldn't do that again.
No.
It was a
that is not
total
on anybody. I do not put that second goal at the end of the game, being a man down, everyone gashed. They're just pressing relentlessly that last 3 minutes. They've got 2 or 3 shots in that last. I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, Montreal they just, as they should have, they dominated statistically that game as far as shots on goal and everything else. I had it pulled up and then I closed it, trying to find that Perez deal.
I'm going to need you guys to get closer to the mics.
So
if you're not hearing yourself in your headset.
I can hear myself. That's the thing.
There you go.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
Yeah.
I really wish I could find that Perez penalty, but either way, I mean, Montreal dominated statistically in that game, and that said, okay, found it. So total shots, Montreal had 22. How many do you think Atlanta had?
Probably 6.
6 on the fucking nose. Shots on goal, Montreal had 5. Atlanta had 1.
Which was Kenwin Jones.
Saves 3 for Atlanta, none for Montreal. Passing accuracy, pretty comparable. 72 for Atlanta, 79 for Montreal. Corners, 6 Montreal, 4 Atlanta. Tackles, 1 Montreal, much more, 16 versus 9. But even playing a man down, like, you expect the possession to change slightly, and it really wasn't that drastic. I think Montreal had 55%, and Atlanta had 45%.
I think at the half we had
it was
half.
50,
It was 50,
49.
yeah,
60% possession at the half.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but yeah, playing that man down. I mean, I think they played great.
We lost him in stoppage time in the first half, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah. But that is a great point, Dan. You brought that up initially kind of sarcastically and cynically, but I really can't think of, I watch a lot of soccer, and the most you ever see in stoppage time in this first half is typically 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it could be because there are no substitutions to account for.
Yep. Very little injury. I mean, like I said, the Almiron was the
It
only
wasn't
one.
4 minutes worth.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, you see games most often in MLS. It's one that I've seen. It's been 1 minute of stoppage time.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Nacho Piatti slots home that PK, and then I can't even remember the guy's name who scored the second goal.
Jackson Hamill.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. I mean, there's nothing anybody does to stop that. I mean, just what a freak. I mean, it was like Josie's
exactly,
back heel last
exactly.
week, like just the right place, right time, and the deflection happens to just hit that back post. Can's out of position because he's playing the initial shot, and then just that deflection just takes it.
But
the opposite
at the same
post.
time, you can't take away. I can't take that away from them.
No.
I can't take away from him being in the right position at the right time. I think
No.
that it's just tactical awareness.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely. I mean, I think it's a great game on both fronts. Like, I think Atlanta played a great game and loss, and I think Montreal played a great game in victory. Like, it was dirty as all hell at times, but it was a good game.
So
Can we talk about Bloom just pretty much shutting down Piatti? He played.
Yeah.
He came in for Mears. You sent me that. It was either. I think it was you. You sent me that text, and you're like, "I'm scared that Mears is out," and I was like, "Oh crap, Mears is out." But then Bloom just slotted. Sorry, Tim.
no,
Bloom
you're
just
good.
slotted right in, and there were probably 3 instances of Piatti doing something pretty high visibility, but then that was it.
Yeah,
Bloom.
right. He would hit a
Bloom.
couple step overs. He'd have isolation over in the left side outside of the box, and then Bloom would just let him make his own mistakes,
And
as you're taught to do.
Piatti was getting frustrated with Bloom.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah, it's nice because
Fantastic.
he's shut the and that speaks to the depth that this team has, right? I mean, you have arguably one of our best players in Tyrone Mears who's out, and then Bloom comes in. Big question mark coming into the game. With Mears being kind of a late scratch, and to go up against one of the most prolific players in all of the MLS, and to be able to in his kind of comeback game, right? Because he's been injured for a few games, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he was Bloom. I do.
No, Piatti.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Piatti's been out for a little bit, so and to be able to shut him down like that, I think that you saw more from Mancuso, and you saw more, a lot more from him than you did from
Patrice Bernier had not
Bernier
too bad
had
of a game as
and
well.
then Oyongo. Is it Oyongo?
Yeah, he wasn't bad with the bleached hair.
Yeah. I thought that he was scaring me in the first half.
Cisco beard.
Yeah, exactly. No, to go back to Gressel, I think he played some really great switches.
Oh, yes.
He in the first half he had some.
Yep.
I think this game would have been so much different had we put Villalba up front.
I agree completely. So, do we have any update on Peterson?
No, he was on
gonna
the bench.
suit
He was
up.
warming up.
They were about to sub him in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Were they?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that game would have been much different if you put Peterson out on the wing, put Tito up front, and then maybe put I mean, that's all you do.
I mean, so that's the tough thing, right? So, week 1, we talk about a lack of substitutions to account for the change in gameplay and making the necessary adjustments late in the game. This game, we're in the starting position with a roster going into the second half, a man down. What do you do in that position? Do you change? I mean, you're already a man down. I don't know that there's necessarily anything that Tata can do to make a substitution to critically impact the game already playing a man down. Like, every time they get a breakaway, guys are just busting ass just to cover.
Right.
And it's like any attempt to even get close to the other 18 is just a sacrifice on our part, because we do play so quickly, and there are Villalba and Almiron making those. Speaking of quick breaks, Almiron's breakaway at the 50 early in the game.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think that we waited a little too long to put him up front.
I agree.
That wasn't until Gonzalez-Pirez, right? Or when did we because at some point we put him up at striker.
I think that was
Hey, we
after
put
that. I think that was
Almiron.
I think
Put
that was,
Almiron up a striker?
Yeah,
I think that was
after
in the
we
second
bring
half.
That must have been after
whenever we brought
in
in
the
Chris
second half.
McCann. Yeah,
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah.
That was
our
late.
buddy Chris
That was
McCann.
late. Yeah, because
Yeah, that's
McCann
true.
was the last sub that came in. So
Yeah. So, yeah, the game's a lot different if we play to our strength and we don't switch it up and play Kenwyne Jones. I'm still looking
at the onset anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I definitely agree. Like, while I was excited to see Kenwyne in there, excited to see him get the goal.
I mean, it was a slick. It was a good finish.
I think it's
Was a nice finish.
yeah. I think he's definitely better late sub.
The thing is, he missed. There was a shot, a chance that he had that was fed from Almiron that he missed. He scored a good goal.
I just noticed
But
there's
he
a
just
huge
gets
change of
beaten
pace.
in pace.
That's it.
So much. So I feel like he only offers that one dimension.
Right.
And I'm not sure that it gives us. I'm not sure. I don't think there's enough payoff.
Well, I don't know that it fits in our scheme with the rest.
Well, it
of
definitely
the people
doesn't
that are
fit
up
in our
front.
scheme.
This is gonna sound kind of stupid, but I feel like even though whenever we have Joseph Martinez or we have Tito up front, it's also one dimensional, but that dimension is way more diverse than what Kenwyne Jones can offer you.
Just because they can break away and get themselves space that I don't think Kenwyne's really providing.
You don't interchange, right? So we have a lot of fluid motion where you would have Assad and Villalba and Almiron kind of just like flowing, right? And you don't have that whenever you put a big target man up front. And
I think we need to look at different striking options than Kenwyne Jones. I think we need a replacement.
This week Assad's back.
Assad's back, but I think I prefer Villalba on the wing. And I think Almiron needs to stay.
Yes.
He needs to stay in the middle.
I agree.
But we need another.
So what do you put Vasquez up there? Do you bring in one of the young guys off the bench?
I'm trying to bring up the roaster.
Yeah,
roaster.
You bring in
chickens over there, bro.
Or do you bring in Roches or
or
Brandon Vasquez, or do you put in? You probably don't put Jacob Peterson up that far.
No.
You're gonna put him out on the wing, but
why could you not put him up that far?
I would. I don't know. I would rather Tito be up front than Peterson.
Just because of his pace? Or
I think so. Yeah.
Why is this so hard for me to
Or why don't you, I mean, if nothing else, put Gressel in the more attacking midfield.
So here are our forwards. We have Jacob Peterson, Tito Villalba, Brandon Vasquez, Joseph Martinez, obviously who's injured,
right?
Kenwyne Jones and Almiron.
So yeah, you put Almiron up top. I think, like you said, keep Villalba on the wing. Nothing else. I think you put Gressel in that attacking mid position because he's just so quick to distribute that ball. I think that makes the most sense.
I don't know. What do you do with Carlos Carmona? Action items from last week. What did you think?
So he had a goal-saving tackle. He came back, he ran back, and he did it, slide tackled, brought it back around. I was really impressed because last week I was hating on Carmona, but that one situation I felt okay. He can stay on the team. I say you leave him, just leave him and see what he does. Just give him some more time. Give him some more.
Keep Lorenowitz back there with him.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think that he's solidified his position in this team.
Oh, he really has. He gives Gaza and either Bloom or Mears a lot more freedom to run up
because
those wings.
he is again a thankless job, right? He is completely fine covering. Yeah, and he does a great job of it.
Yeah, he did. He really does. He does.
Yeah, because he can jockey with a man until the wing back gets back, and then you have two defenders back at that point. So
yeah. And I think he plays great with Parkhurst, those two veterans. Parkhurst has got so much nous and so much, veteran ability to play a little dirty, play a little, oh sure, maybe you hit me a little bit too hard and I'll fall down.
Kevin's trying to decrypt your shorthand on your notepad.
At 6 minutes and 18 seconds, was that really offsides? Looks like he came back onsides to me.
Yeah, he was. Go back and watch it. I'm telling you. Jones is not offside.
I am in awe right now. Just
All right, do you want to go through my red card things?
I do.
Cabreza. It was Cabreza. I earlier said it was Bonadello, but it wasn't. It was Cabreza foul on Almiron, nowhere near the ball, hacked him down on his calves. He should have gone off. Bernier should have got 2 yellows. He kicked my beloved LGP in the face, and then he pushed him to the ground, which was kind of LGP trying to get a little bit out.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the space of like 20 seconds, Garza got crunched by Bonadello, which should have been a yellow card, but it was a no call. And then he got 2 studs raised up from Duval, which should have been a straight red because he didn't get any of the ball. The ball was played to Garza. Duval came in, crunched him, and the ball just rolled on by with nobody touching it at all. It was ridiculous.
I feel like we're watching 2 different games.
But then I said that Alan Kelly called a pretty good game. So
just 3 missed red cards.
I'm just a massive hitter.
What is it? But what is, no. I don't think you are. I think that what does that say about the state of affairs and officiating in the MLS that you think that is a fantastically called game?
Yeah.
Because we've seen some very questionable things going on.
Oh, absolutely.
What was the other red card that happened in the box? No, never mind. No, that one was actually justified. It was the defender from Colorado who had the handball.
Oh, yeah.
On the line. Yeah, that was 100% justified.
Absolutely.
No, we already talked about last week with Jermaine Jones.
Yeah.
So are we good to move on to RSL?
I think so.
Oh, hold on. Well, I wrote these down because I'm sure you wanted to know it. So Kevin Kratz, obviously known from St. Hansen and Eintracht Braunschweig fame.
Oh, yeah.
His career stats, he's scored 3 goals, 2 assists, played 36 matches, and has 8 yellow cards. So obviously, maybe we put Kevin Kratz on instead of Peterson or...
Yeah, that didn't make a whole lot of sense, did it?
It's like, who is Kevin Kratz?
Yeah, that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, you had options on the bench.
Oh,
you could have put in Harrison Heath, right? You could have put in Jacob Peterson. Like, you would have been all right.
Or put McCann in earlier than...
Yeah, exactly. Or the forgotten man, Chris McCann.
Right.
I
like that.
What do we know about Roches?
I think he is on our youth squad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that we signed him from was it San Jose or somebody, and I want to say that he's on our youth squad. Anybody who knows anything about Roches, I know that it was like kind of a highly talked about thing at first whenever we signed him.
He didn't have great stats from what I saw.
Stats are what's matter. They would matters.
I mean, he's 22, which gives him a couple of years on Vasquez, and he's lighter. And
Vasquez is 19.
He's 18.
18, right?
6'3".
Yeah, he scored. Wow. There was a great goal that he scored in the U18 or U19 World Cup, or is it qualifying? It was some sort of U.S. men's U18 or U19 game. He scored a brilliant free kick. He seems like he'd be a decent talent. I think that. But then again, at 6'3", lumbering forward potentially. Is that something we need?
It's another Kenwin Jones scenario. Right?
No, it's. I don't think that's what we need at all. We need to get Craig Bellamy.
Well, Jones is.
Jones is what, 6'5"?
Jones has got 12 pounds on Vasquez.
Yeah, he's what, 6'5", 230, something like that?
187. Vasquez 175.
There is no way Kenwin Jones is 187
there's
pounds.
There's no fucking way.
187 stone, maybe. 187 kilos.
Yeah, I think we're just kids like or maybe even Vasquez himself on the right. I mean, they got to come in. They're not going to start him. They've got to come in at the right sort of game. And I feel like we need to go all out against Real Salt Lake. Maybe DC United. Maybe that would be the time to test them out unless Martinez is back.
So we're going to have potentially the first quote unquote full strength team because we don't have Joseph Martinez, obviously. of this road trip since we started it in Seattle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to have Assad back. We're going to have Leandro
Perez.
Gonzalez-Pirez. Potentially Tyrone Mears. I don't know if he's still, I think he was an ankle injury.
It wasn't.
Peterson clearly warming up, so that's promising.
So, so the problem, though, is that Mike Petke seems to have awakened RSL.
Right?
Yeah, so their team, I mean, they looked fantastic.
They really did.
Um,
Sorry, before we move on, I've got one more point.
One more point.
Seaman, the bold guy from Montreal, he is a twat.
Simone, yeah.
So I think it was like the 80th minute or something, but he like threatened Parkhurst with a headbutt, like did a little, like moved his head forward like a couple of inches.
I did
like
not see that.
Oh, come on then. And Parkhurst is like not moving. He's like, no, you're an idiot, mate. And then the ref goes over, has to work with Simon and says, you know, if you do that, I'll probably book you. You probably should have booked him anyway, but whatever. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, so we can move on to RSL.
Yeah.
So RSL is coming off of 2 straight wins. They had that crazy game in the snow.
Anton Walks is actually pretty good as well.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I think that's we didn't talk about that. We have a center back, stud youth player from Tottenham on loan. Anton Walks he was
got some depth in defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that I don't know why I overlooked him. He did play really well for us, and I mean, there's no chance we can sign him from Tottenham, I don't think.
Yeah, I think.
Then again, there's no chance he gets into the Tottenham team. Have you seen them play? They're the best team in the world right now. It's fucking nuts.
Maybe we could keep him on loan again. You know, maybe Darren Eagles can work that Tottenham connection.
Yeah.
But so, do you know, I was thinking LGP, he's got the potential to be a designated player.
Yeah.
How do they move that around? Do you know any idea how they move that around?
I don't. You probably have to just figure out who's going to be more expensive. Yeah. It's going to be to the point where, so who are our designated players are Almiron, Villalba, and Jose Martinez, right?
Yep.
So LGP becomes more expensive than one of those, and maybe we can move that designated player option or designation.
But which one would you drop? Would you Almiron,
whoever's the cheapest?
No,
but like in terms of
Villalba of those 3 for sure.
Or are you saying if you have to get rid of one of them?
If you had to get rid of,
I don't. I cut the fat on the rest of the roster, and I just bring some youngsters.
No, but you can only have 3 DBs, right?
Right, but you can incur their salary though. So the reason that you designate a player is so that their salary doesn't count against the salary cap. Yeah.
So okay.
So you see what I'm saying? Is
I'm a huge MLS fan.
Dude, so you've done way more work in one episode than I've done in 6, so you're good.
So yeah, you cut some of the French players. So the salary,
French players.
Simon,
he's French.
So you know what's crazy? You know what the NBA salary cap is right now? It is set to be right now it's 94 million.
I was going to say 90 million, so right. I was actually pretty close.
It's actually set to go up because of TV money. What is the MLS salary cap?
Oh, 29 million.
12 million. Not even in the millions.
3.845 million.
My God.
So, okay, I was wrong. Designated player counts towards $480,000 a year against the cap. So you can sign, that's the maximum salary a player can have.
So what's that, like a 6th? If we're at 3 million?
An 1/8 almost. 3.8 million. So 4.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's a set 485,000
for a designated player, right?
No,
so
each.
Yes.
So if you've got 3, you're at 1.5. We'll say.
Right. So you have $1.5 million to spend on the rest of the team.
And what's the total roster? 25.
Our total roster
20 roster spots.
Oh,
Yep. Players in the first 20 roster spots will count against the team. So I was wrong, Dan.
17
So
players
at that
1.5.
point, you can't afford one of those 4 players. So who do you cut?
Villalba.
Who do we say? Villalba, Martinez, and Almiron.
Villalba.
So no,
I'd cut Villalba. I'd
such
take
an easy
LGP
decision.
over him. Yeah.
Such an easy
Is
decision.
anyone else calling him LGP, or is it just me?
no. Everybody's calling him LGP on at least that's what he's been coined on social media. I think even the team recognizes him as LGP now.
Yeah.
I can't remember who.
Solid.
Maybe Darren Longshore from the Soccer Down Here. I think is that his? I think that's his podcast.
Soccer Down Here. I don't know that one.
So
Who do you cut?
it's interesting, right? Because it's not just so cut and dry.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. There's nuance.
Of those 3,
No.
it's cut and dry.
No. That's the thing, though. I'm not talking about those 3. I'm talking about the situation. So let's look at age, right? So
That's why Almiron stays.
Villalba's 22.
Yeah.
Almiron, I believe,
He's 22 as well, I thought.
No, Almiron is.
He's a little older than that.
Almiron is 23.
Okay.
So that's a wash in my book.
Joseph Martinez is 25, I believe.
Yeah, I know he's definitely the oldest of the 3.
And Leandro Gonzalez-Perez is also 25.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which one garners the most money
So
in a transfer? Is what player is going to garner more money coming back into the club?
Villalba is about. All right, this is in euros. 200 million. LGP is 2.25 million euros.
Are you looking? Are you looking? Are you
So
looking
that's
at
all the US
transfermarket.com?
dollars.
Yeah, that's a fun site to look at.
So
So who brings the most back? Who are you saying?
I think Almiron is the most lucrative
I think so,
transfer
too.
you can have. Maybe.
So
maybe
why do you
Joseph
drop
Martinez.
him? Why not build on that?
Well, no, it's.
I mean, if
I guess it's different, right? I'm used to watching English soccer where if you can recoup a bunch of money for a player that, if you're looking at, 4 players and one of them is going to recoup a bunch of money and it's not going to be a drastic loss compared to the other 3, then you go with that more lucrative option to invest back into your team. But if we have that salary cap, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I don't know.
with our backing, with our financial backing, I'm not so worried about making money on players.
Yeah, that's true too. I think
We just need to find a way to finish the damn stadium.
I think we haven't even talked about that.
No, it's on my list.
Yeah.
I didn't take notes on the game, but I know how to talk about that fucking stadium.
Yeah. I guess you dropped Villalba.
Absolutely, in a heartbeat. Of
Yeah.
those 3, that's an easy decision.
You guys just don't like him.
No, it's not that I don't like him. It's that of those 3, I think Almiron and Martinez bring far more. I mean,
He gets pushed off the ball a lot. That's my beef with him. Villalba.
I was about to pull I think there's a straw man. I was going to compare him to Yamil Assad, but we're not doing that.
I have questions on both of those guys.
I'm completely fine with Assad going back going back to his home club. I think that we'd be better off with Peterson starting over Assad.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it. Let's do it for Real Salt Lake.
before we get to Real Salt Lake, mentioned it. Mercedes-Benz,
Yeah.
we get the notification this week. We talked about it last week, that whole commissioner statement about we'll see you in September. That's exactly what's happening.
As soon as I heard that, I was like,
seems a little convenient there that that was the series of events that played out. So we get an email this week saying that the Orlando game will be in Bobby Dodd, and the other games that were scheduled to be in Mercedes-Benz will be rescheduled, and first game of Mercedes-Benz is no longer July 30th or whatever it was in July. It is now going to be the beginning of September. So, yeah, a little bit of a bummer. Still exciting. I mean, Bobby Dodd's been fun.
right.
So it's definitely a bummer, though. I was looking forward to being in that stadium in the middle of the summer and having the second half of the season there,
I don't care at all.
Well,
No, I mean, yeah, I'm not a season ticket.
You don't have a flag.
I don't have a flag. But I mean, I loved seeing them at Bobby Dodd. I think that's a great venue for them.
Did you get tickets for DC United?
Yeah, I have them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the Benz will be great when it's finished. Not worried about it being finished.
No,
like for.
So I said, anybody in the design and construction industry is like, that shit ain't happening. Yeah. Something that scale finishing on time.
Plus, it's nice that
in the middle of the summer
that they're refunding some of the money because I mean, you did buy tickets for a stadium that isn't built.
Correct.
So
I don't know how that's going to happen. The email said that they were going to refund it to my account, but I don't know how that works exactly. I don't know if that goes towards next season tickets. Can I buy beer with that money? I don't know.
They'll probably just say that.
This is the bone I have to pick about all of that, right? I am very much and I'm a season ticket holder now, right? Yeah. High five.
I know.
And I'm with Dan. I could not care less if it was at Mercedes or if it was at Bobby Dodd. I think that there is some
Silverbacks.
Yeah. Well, I'll just stay quarantined in my house forever.
Yeah.
Hey, it would. So Sabudo could only hold 17,000. So, and they didn't even have a sellout crowd. So the Silverbacks, I think we could draw a bigger crowd than.
Yeah. So I see a lot of people complaining about how they bought tickets.
That is not why I bought tickets.
How everybody, there are people who bought tickets just for this game, just to see, just to go to the stadium.
Oh, see, I didn't think about that. Like buying tickets in advance for that specific game
to
go to that
really?
stadium.
Did people do that? Say, oh, I'm going to buy tickets.
Oh, I'm sure
just so I can go to the Mercedes.
I'm sure people that are Falcons fans even were like, I want to be in the very first. I want to be in the first game played in Mercedes-Benz.
This is a city where the hottest singles bar for the longest time was the Chop House inside of Turner Field.
No shit.
There are a lot of people who if you go to Top Golf, you see everybody just goes there to go drink.
Right.
Nobody's there for the festivities. Nobody's there. Yeah. So.
No, I can absolutely see that. I didn't even think about that perspective. Like from the season ticket perspective, I don't think many people were like, "Yep, I'm just getting season tickets so I can get into that Mercedes-Benz stadium." But people,
for me though, it's I cheer for laundry, right? I cheer for the shirt on the
laundry.
Back. Yeah, I think
I'm with you, Tim.
The phrase I think it comes from Seinfeld is where I first heard it. Is I cheer for the laundry. I always cheer for the shirt on the back, not the player inside the shirt. There's an old phrase that gets
from LJP.
Yeah, there's an old phrase that gets used a lot whenever a player becomes a prima donna in England, is that no player is bigger than the club. And the same thing I could say for the stadium.
Right.
The stadium's not bigger than the club.
Yeah.
For anybody who's
That's a good point.
For anybody who's
never heard that before.
For anybody who is upset that they're not going to see Mercedes-Benz, you get to witness. Okay, if you had tickets to the Benz. Now you have a ticket to go watch it in Bobby Dodd, which is an absolutely fucking fierce environment where there are going to be more people in that crowd than there would have been in Mercedes.
Very true. Very good point.
And not just that, but you're going to be witnessing soccer in a venue where it needs to be witnessed. To me, in an outdoor venue.
And the true essence the true essence of this club this year too, where it's just, I mean, like Bobby Dodd really is home of Atlanta United right now.
I think it is. Yes.
I agree.
It's just a coincidence that it's owned by Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And who cares about Georgia Tech?
Not this guy.
Nobody cares about Georgia Tech.
Exactly.
So
not even Georgia Tech.
I'm not upset about it. I mean, I can't say that it wasn't a little disappointing.
Yeah. Oh, that was my point, was that it's just disappointing. It's not like I'm throwing my hands up in the air like, oh my God, now what are we going to do? You know, like
the thing is, after the new stadium opens, nobody's going to talk about this.
No,
that's the thing, right? Yeah.
Nobody's going to talk about
that's
this.
What they were talking about that last night on 92.9. I was listening to in the wee hours on the way home, and they were talking about how, whenever you got in, if you
shatter that, I'm going to break your face, Dan.
You got season tickets to get in on the ground level, and you're going to have season tickets.
Exactly.
It was with the intention that you were going to be with this team for a long time. And like Dan said, and they said last night, nobody's going to be looking back on this and like, I can't believe that we didn't get into the Benz. And there are people who have fucking conspiracy theories about how the Falcons wanted people, or like,
oh, that's ridiculous.
I think it's tied to 85. The 85 collapse.
Mercedes-Benz was an inside job.
Mercedes-Benz was a fucking inside job. I'm calling it now. Orlando is not the South.
Yes. Shut your fucking mouth. Orlando's not the South. You can shut your mouth. Orlando's not the South.
All right,
going.
Real Salt Lake. What time?
Rusnak looks good.
What are we looking at on time?
We're at 50 minutes.
Okay, cool.
We got a little bit of time. Rusnak looked really good in the snow game. I think that Movsisian's always a threat. Bend it like Beckerman, obviously. Those dreads are so commanding in the midfield.
He's like a little dog. He just keeps running.
Yeah, he really does.
I remember did you ever do the bleep test at school?
Another thankless player.
Thankless.
Yeah. What is it?
So you probably call it something else, but when you're in high school, there's like,
I think we called that tummy sticks.
You're running it's kind of like a shuttle, and the tape has,
I think this is what we call it, was a shuttle run.
And it goes, so you run to one end before it beeps, then you run to the other, and the beeps speed up.
You
got to get faster and faster and
yeah.
faster. So I watched a U.S. men's national team documentary ages ago when Klinsmann was still the manager, and they showed one of those, and Beckerman was the last guy on the field.
I believe it.
Because he just keeps going.
He is a workhorse, man. He's been the captain for that team for a while, right? I mean, he's we couldn't be playing them at a worse time, right?
Is Joe Platter back?
I don't know.
I heard he might be. Plus, Brooks Lennon, he looks kind of good.
Yeah.
And apparently, so I listened to a Real Salt Lake podcast to be prepared for this show.
Wow, I am just blown away.
It's called the RSL show.
I'm not listening to that garbage, but continue.
Well, it's kind of funny because before Atlanta United, and I came over here, I liked the Colorado Rapids because I thought they had a cool name. But apparently, I'm such a huge fan, I didn't know that their rivals are RSL.
Yeah, the Rocky Mountain rivalry.
These two guys, yeah, never heard of it. These two guys who did this podcast just are so bitter that they hate Colorado, and it seems like every other team, which I get. But apparently, they were saying that they're excited about the center back and winger, Joe Platter. Apparently, he's going to be back on Brooks Lennon. So
insider information.
They also think they can take us at home.
I think they can.
Well, I think so too. I think this team is a little beaten and bruised.
I still think I'm sticking with my assessment. I think we're a playoff team. I think playoffs are bust for me.
We're hanging on by 1 point.
This was always going to be a tough stretch, right?
Yeah.
We go against back-to-back games,
and we're not going to get an easier one whenever we get back. Looking at the way, I mean, we've got Columbus,
DC got shut down, right?
Yeah. But we've got New York City, Columbus, and was it Portland?
No, we don't play Portland. No,
DC,
we play Portland.
Yeah,
we play
DC, New York,
and then Portland. Yeah. And then back here for New York City again.
Yeah, God knows.
Houston, then New York City.
New York City just looked relentless this weekend.
To me, I think they're
going to.
But look, next week or this weekend, David Villa could get injured and be out for the season. So, which totally changes things on the head.
Oh, absolutely. But
just like when a shitty ref call can turn a game in like 30 seconds.
The last 30 seconds. So, speaking of New York City, goal of the year, right? Gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah.
From 45 out. I mean, just
without a doubt. I don't know a whole lot about that RSL team. I think that they're hot right now.
I mean, they looked like shit 3 weeks ago, but they are definitely hot right now.
We're definitely trending down.
Trends.
I mean, we did play well against Montreal, right? For all intents and purposes, we played pretty well considering the circumstances.
Oh, absolutely.
We played great.
We don't go a man down. I can argue that's a much more competitive game.
It might be. a lot of people hate this term being thrown around in sports and competitive sports, but a moral victory, right? We didn't get demoralized.
Moral victories get you relegated.
Yeah, exactly. Moral victories. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's,
but you're right though. It was totally,
if we can keep our heads up, if we can see the positives for that, we're not necessarily trending down.
No.
I think we might be all right for this game. I don't know that we win this game though.
Right.
It's so tough in any sport, let alone a grueling sport like soccer, to go 4 straight weeks on the road.
But we're back. We're back next week, right? Is it next week we're back? We still got 2 out.
No, we have one back here.
So next
on the 30th,
next week
right?
we're here for DC.
And then we go out and then we go up to Yankee Stadium, and then we go out to Portland.
It depends on how the team's looking at it, right? They're going into the last game for a long stretch. They come out, they've got a relatively full roster, like you said, a full, complete team that hasn't been there for the past couple weeks, aside from Martinez, looking to finish strong before coming back home. It's a mentality thing more than anything. I mean, Can's playing great. Almiron's playing great. You got Assad back in.
Back four's playing great.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, hands down. Back 5, if you wanted to consider Lorenowitz.
I'm not so convinced that we just completely. I mean,
I don't think we lay down. I don't think we lay an egg. But at the same time,
and I also think this team is hungry for a win now. I mean, it's been 3.
Yeah.
Was it 3 consecutive draws and then the loss, or was it 2 draws and then the loss?
2 draws and the loss.
So
But
I'm not convinced, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, we talked about this earlier. Can is obviously going to get sent off in this game, but but then
handball in the box.
But
calling it.
The thing is, okay, so Real Salt Lake are coming to a peak right now. They're trending up.
Yes.
So arrows at some point are going to trend down, and
absolutely.
Even the Browns can win every
Debatable.
weekend. So
debatable.
So this could be the week that
Deshaun.
the peak starts trending down for Real Salt Lake.
I think it's definitely possible. I mean, having that lineup back in play, you've got Peterson as a healthy substitution back on the bench.
I still think he's a starter.
Or a starter even. I mean, even better.
I hope he is.
I hope so too.
I hope Kratz does not see the field.
I think I'm positive going into this. I'm saying 1-0 Atlanta. What do you think, Dan?
I think it's going to be a draw, like 1-1.
Ugh.
A real shitty draw.
No, we need 3 points.
We
man.
would score.
We need 3 points.
Right, we do, but I think maybe
I think it's happening this week.
LGP will get a goal, but then in open play, but then they'll get a penalty when Alex Can get sent off. So,
yeah.
I think Gressel scores this week.
God, that'd be awesome.
You know what? I'm ever the optimist. I think 2-1. I think Villalba puts one into the back of the net.
No, you don't get to switch. You said you thought Atlanta was going to lose. Stick with it.
I didn't say we were going to lose.
He didn't. I don't think he said that on the air.
I heard it.
You heard a lot of things, Kevin.
True.
Maybe I did, but you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, Villalba scores one in, coming inside from the right side of the box, and
you think Almiron's due for a goal?
Oh, that's a good one too.
I think so.
I'm sticking.
And
with
it kind of
Gressel,
seems like an obvious.
Actually, you know what? No, I think Parkhurst gets a header from.
Whoa!
I think Parkhurst gets a
fucking mic drop.
Gets a header in from a short played corner that then gets played in long. I still don't understand that tactic.
We are so bad at corners. We are so bad at corners.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So aside from David Villa's, obviously we're gonna play this. We always do goal of the week, right?
Yeah. So David Villa, but the other one for me is Will Johnson from Orlando, which had as much shit as we want to talk about Orlando, they're looking really good right now too.
Orlando to me are the second best team in the East.
For a shit team.
Yeah. For a snowbird team.
What do you say? Yeah, Orlando's best team in the East, you think?
Second best, I think. I think NYC is the best team in the East. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
What are the standings? Where
Columbus is first right now, but Columbus also has everybody has a game in hand on Columbus except for Red Bulls.
Yeah, we're hanging on at 6th right now.
Oh yeah, so Orlando are in the best position right now.
Yeah.
Right. So if Orlando were to win 2 games, if they were to win their 2 games that they have in hand on Columbus, they would be up on them by
6 points.
Yeah. No, 5 points.
5, right?
Yeah, and then NYC would also be in second if they won their next game. Just the way that team attacks between Harrison and McNamara and Villa, that team is so dangerous.
The thing that we noticed, because we watched that too, in like that first half, they were aggressive the entire they just did not stop being in a full sprint. It seemed like that first 45 minutes,
and they just pepper them.
Yeah,
they pepper them with Vieira has a great.
They just broke them down.
Vieira is a great manager.
Yeah,
it's good to see because I always liked him at Arsenal, and he was always just like the consummate professional at Arsenal. Like he was a great captain,
right?
And I'm glad to see, as much as I hate Man City, and I know that they're owned, the Sheik owns NYC, right?
Yeah, they're like
their sister
team.
club, right? Yeah. So
I bet NYFC fans love it when people refer to them as a feeder team.
I think but to go back to goal week, obviously you got to discount Villa because we got to say best aside from that.
Can I say listening to you guys talk about describing NYFC kind of sounds like Atlanta United. Like they press hard, they sprinting everywhere, and they pepper their opponents with shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the thing that I think that's
when we're at full strength.
I think that the thing that's
exactly.
missing is the ball work up top, which I haven't. I mean, yes, there's the quick play past that back defender that keeps getting exposed by Martinez whenever he was healthy, especially, and Villalba's had a couple of opportunities that he's capitalized on as well. But again, like that goal last week that McNamara scored was just quintessential New York City football, I think, right now. Right. It's just like they're just distributing the ball better than anybody else. Orlando's looking really healthy and really well at doing that.
There's just a fluidity to that team, and I think it comes with. I think there's a chemistry with that team too. And I think I think you're right, Dan. It's in the other team that plays like that to me, and a team. I think my goal of the week goes to Dom Dwyer.
Who was that? Which game was that?
Sporting KC.
Oh, yeah.
Scored a very nice header off a very good build-up play. To me, a team goal like that is just as nice as an individual effort.
God, that chest volley, though, by Johnson in the Orlando game. Right at the top of the 18. Man.
I think that Orlando almost had the best goal of the week and almost could have rivaled.
How many times has Dempsey hit the
David
post
Villa.
at this point?
Yeah, that's true. No, but whenever Rivas cut in from the right side and whipped a shot in with his left foot for Orlando and hit the bar, that was absolutely stunning. What about you, Dan? What's your goal of the week other than David Villa's 50-yard? It's not even 50-yard effort, right? 45. It was like 45.
Yeah, so
just 45 intentional.
Just 45. We're ripping it.
So...
Was it Bastian Schweinsteiger?
No, it wasn't.
He did have a nasty goal, though.
It did, and
it was good. It was a good
nice,
goal.
It was
a professional
that
goal.
First touch, and then having to go across his body at that angle, with 2 defenders on him, splits the defenders, the first touch, and then, like I said, having to cut that across his body to get that inside post through the keeper. I mean, that's just... I think it's a good goal.
One of Freddie Montero's headers.
It is goal.
Oh,
I did like Freddie Montero, but you know what? When you look at those goal highlights, and that's when you're looking for goals of the week, that's what everybody looks like. It's just the context of those 6 or 7 seconds of the goal being scored, and it doesn't account for skill. It doesn't account for feasibility of that goal being scored again. And with a heavy heart, I have to give it to fucking Anthony Jackson Hamel for his goal against ATL. It was a complete fluke.
It was.
And unfortunately, he meant to do it.
And it was just perfect placement.
And it was,
I mean, you're absolutely right.
It's goddamn bullshit is what it is.
It fucking is. It's
you know what's great, though? is is the fact that we're having these discussions about goal of the week in MLS.
Yeah,
It's fantastic,
yeah.
right? Because that's one of the it's a stigma of the MLS, right? It's a lot of garbage, cluster cuss goals, as it were, a lot of ping ponging in the box and pickups and rebounds. But there have been just a slew of goals scored, right? I mean, Kubo Torres hasn't scored in a few weeks, and he's still atop. He's got 6. Christian Ramirez with 5, who looks fantastic. Can we talk about if Minnesota had a defense, they'd be a top side in the West.
Yeah.
Between Ramirez, Kenny Molino, and then the guy's name eludes me. But anyway, they have some great attacking players.
Yeah.
And they battled back against a great Houston team.
I'm interested
to
see what happens in that home game in Atlanta against Minnesota, coming back for blood after a tough loss in the snow.
Yeah.
They looked great against Houston. I think that's going to be an interesting game. When is that rematch?
I'll have to take a look.
It's like when we going to have to go up to Chicago.
Oh,
Chicago
God. Playing that Chicago team that's playing right now.
So this is just driving home to me how hard it is to judge the MLS.
Yes.
Because even
week in and week out, we think we've got a team pinned.
Chicago looks great. And even down to 10 men, they shouldn't have given up 4 goals to us.
Right. And Real Salt Lake looked like shit 2 weeks ago.
And then Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then Montreal. Like, we
knew Montreal was going to be tough. Going into that game,
true.
We talked about
they had one down game against LA.
Right. They had great draws against great teams with Chicago.
They
and
are
New York
a better
City,
team.
Right?
Yeah, they are a better team than their record shows.
And, I mean, us being a man down didn't help that fact. So I think we saw that kind of coming. The writing was a little bit on the walls on that one. It was unfortunate, but, yeah. What is that noise?
I'm not sure. Is it the fan? Anyway.
I don't know.
So speaking of LA.
God damn, Daniel.
Is Allison Drini looks like one of the best signings of the year, right?
Yeah.
He had a great goal in the LA game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The Italian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Romain Alessandrini.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right though. Clint Dempsey. He's hit the bar probably 5 times in the past 3 weeks.
I think if half of those goals actually go in, he's leading goal scorer right now.
Yeah. I'm loving that he's missing everything.
It's unfortunate. Me too.
Yeah.
He's just, I mean, when he plays for the US, I'm all for him, but when he plays for Seattle, which I'm really not liking Seattle for some reason. Just because, the champions or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm fine that
they hate us because
they
they ain't us. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, boys?
Nothing good.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here for Atlanta United FC Weekly. You can find all of us on Twitter. If you found us on iTunes, we have no new reviews. We read all reviews the show. Come on. No new stars, no new reviews. We know you guys are listening. We get the stats. Come on. Throw some stars.
We know a lot of you guys are listening.
Yeah.
You better start leaving us reviews.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do another review, Kevin.
What? I didn't do any of the other ones.
Oh, you did.
All right. If you found us on iTunes, be sure to throw up 5 stars or a review. Tell a friend nonetheless. You can find all of us on Twitter. Tim, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Tim Herb. That's just 1% of you guys leave us a review.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we'd
have like 2 reviews.
Daniel will not be joining us on the next episode. He has been the worst. Where can they find you at on Twitter?
At DNJMS.
You can find me as well at The Architect. That's at _ARC1TECT. Collectively at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B and the number 4. Go check out gethomebeforedark.com. We have a call-in number, but you savages still haven't called in. So check the show notes, find the number, give us a call, and throw a fucking review up on iTunes. How hard is it? Nonetheless, as in every episode, always be home before dark.